Today we're going to have a real good show, and we've got a lot of things we want to talk about, but this show is going to be around Vets Crossing. And what is Vets Crossing? Well, we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. But I got a couple of little announcements that I want to make. In June, we're going to be having a tribute to the troops motorcycle ride. We want to make sure everybody knows about that. June 16th and 17th. You're going to hear quite a bit more about that. We want to get you registered and signed up so that you can go out and honor our troops. And we're going to take off from there. And also, one of the things about the motorcycle ride is one of our guest speakers that's going to be on the air this morning is Rocky Lynn. He will be here in another week with Vets Crossing. And I've got Brian and Jess here from the Vets Crossing organization, and they're going to tell us a little bit about it. Brian, what is Vets Crossing?
Hey, good morning, Victor. Thank you for having us on. The short version is we're about education and entertainment to observe our military veterans in America.
Well, that's about as short a version as I can get. I've got another gentleman here, and he's going to be talking to us a little bit, and he has quite a history of honoring our troops and entertaining our troops. Good morning, Rocky.
Good morning, Victor. How are you, sir? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing very well. Rocky, I know you're going to be out here the 20th and 21st, and you're going to be entertaining our veterans and the troops and families, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your history and what got you into this.
Well, you know, Victor, I grew up in North Carolina, and I grew up at a place called the Barham Springs Home for Children, which was a home like an orphanage. And for me, the Army was a great opportunity to better my life. So as soon as I graduated high school, I joined the United States Army, and I only spent one term in. I spent 3 years in with the 82nd Airborne. I was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. But those years shaped and molded and formed my life in a way that set me on the right kind of path, if you will. Helped me make proper decisions and make good choices in my life. And those things that I learned in the military to this day still help me greatly. When this conflict started in Iraq, this second conflict in Iraq, I had the opportunity about 6 years ago to go over to Iraq and to Afghanistan and to entertain our soldiers at Christmas time. So I did. I took my band, and we've been lucky enough to have a little bit of radio success. But I thought when we got there, what would we play after we play the hit? So I decided to write some songs just for them. Songs that were as opposed to most patriotic albums, these songs are mostly up-tempo, and they're positive, and they're kind of happy, with titles like I'm Proud to Be a Soldier, Our Heroes Come from Small Towns, and Ain't America Beautiful. So I wrote these songs just for these young men and women. And that began a process of us going over there every year, like around Christmas time. And at first, the first year we went to Baghdad and Bagram and all the big places that everybody goes. And after that, we don't. Now I just go to what they call forward operating bases, which are small places, sometimes 10, 15 guys in a tent that are guarding a pass in Helmand province, and say, nobody goes through here, not today, not on my watch. And I have to tell you, Victor, these young men and women that are serving our country now are a real special kind of hero. For me, to join the military was an easy decision. It was easy. It was peacetime. I didn't really have a way to afford college. It was perfect for me. These young men and women in Portland, Oregon, in Eugene, Oregon, in the Willamette County, they sit in the back of those classrooms, and they know they're not going to Fort Bragg. They know they're not going to Fort Benning. They know they're going to go to Afghanistan. And they still raise their hand and they say, send me, and I'll go do what's right. And for us, it's a privilege and an honor to go and entertain these men and women, and to do what should be done is our grateful nation saying thank you to them.
And that's very important, that we always remember our sons and daughters, husbands and wives, the ones that, as you said, raised their hand and went out here and continued to protect the freedoms and the beliefs of what we stand for as a nation that is free. Rocky, it's so important that we say thank you to you for the sacrifices you make on a daily basis, because I know you're a family man, and yet you travel all over the nation as well as the world just entertaining our troops. And
it's a privilege for us to do it, Victor, and it really, I get so much out of it, and so does my family, and that's what to speak highly of Brian Myers and Jess and the whole Vets Crossing people. We're coming out there on the 21st. We always go to the VA hospitals while we're there and to any sort of homes or convalescent places they have and go room to room and sing to those people. And I tell you, Brian and Jess are doing great work, and I'm proud to be a part of Vets Crossing and a part of this event.
I hear you. It excites me, and all the things that are going on, and it just amazes me the trips you make out here to Oregon. You'll be here this month, the 20th and the 21st, entertaining. You'll be here in June, entertaining the 16th and the 17th during the Tribute to the Troops motorcycle ride.
The Tribute to the Troops motorcycle ride is actually, we're on our 9th year now, and I think it's our official maybe second year in Oregon, but our third ride. And what we do is we get on motorcycles and we go directly to the homes of families who have lost children, wives who have lost husbands, children who have lost parents in Afghanistan and Iraq. We go and we bring them a framed picture of their hero, a flag and a case, and we say to them, and you know, this is a group of people who noticed that you paid this price for our freedom. In the state of Minnesota, where I started this, I'm the founder, I'm the co-founder of this organization. We started it, Greg Schmidt and I, in Minnesota. There's been 100 families in Minnesota that have lost people, heroes in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we've been to almost every single house. We've raised $250,000, and every penny, every dime, we don't have any operating expenses that come out. We don't have any body on salary. That's all volunteer. Every penny goes into 529 college funds for the soldiers' children. When they get older, they can use this money as an education fund to help better their life. We try to do what their dad or mom would have wanted to have done for them.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, that is quite a tribute to all of our men and women in uniform, and especially those that we have lost serving this nation. And so often, as we all know, that we sit back and we live our everyday life and we just continue to live it, and we get a cloud and we don't see what was given up to make sure we had those freedoms to go out and laugh and enjoy. And it's so...
That's exactly right, Victor. And the thing that really is striking to me, and this is where I really have to praise Tom McKinley and Jennifer with the Tribute to the Troops, and Brian and Jess, is that our young men and women that are coming home now, they are facing some really traumatic issues because they've done and seen things that are traumatic from the most extreme way that can be. And the thing that I love about Tribute and about Vets Crossing is we don't distinguish between heroes who may have. I mean, you know, if a soldier ends his own life if he's in Helmand Province and he has a heart attack and dies, they don't consider that a combat-related death, and that's a mistake. It's a wrong way to look at it. And some of those families get left behind, especially if a soldier, takes his own life or something. But we say anyone that has served in a war zone and that's there, we consider them heroes.
Well, Rocky, one of the things that I want to do here is I want to remind the people out there that they can call in here and they can order your album online, and they can also call in, and we're going to be giving away some free tickets here in a little bit after the first break. But I want people to know that your album, Songs for Soldiers, is available. It's a vehicle for raising funds for our troops. Rocky does countless appearances across the nation to help his 501c corporation and other charities to raise money for our military and their families. It's very important that we get the word out there, that people can order these albums and CDs. I would also like to say, Rocky, I want you to hold on to the air for just a few more minutes. We're going to talk to you one more time, but we got to take a break here. But in saying that, I also want people to know on the 20th, you're going to be here in Albany singing, I understand, for a little bit. At Prime Rib Dinner at the American Legion.
Well, I don't miss many meals.
And so you hold on to the air and don't go away, because we're going to come right back after our break, and we're all going to get in this conversation. And I know Brian and Jess has a few things to say and ask questions, and we want to get this Vets Crossing out and make sure people know about it. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Mike Rowe here at a Ford dealer with a little Q&A for Fiona. Fiona, according to the signs, Ford is having some sort of a big tire event. I just want to confirm a few things. How would you describe the event?
It's big.
The savings one might enjoy at the event.
They're big.
Okay. What about the selection? Put that in your own words for me.
Big.
I see. In terms of rebates, how would you really sum the whole...
They're big, Mike. Big.
Sensing a pattern.
Ford will beat any competitor's advertised price on name brands with the low price tire guarantee. Plus, get a $100 rebate when you buy 4 Goodyear, Continental, Pirelli, Hankook, Dunlop, or Yokohama tires. Now that's a pretty big deal.
So I think we can agree then that Ford's tire event is good-sized.
No, Michael. It's big.
That's a great answer. I had no idea you were going to go there.
Competitors ad required for tire guarantee. $100 rebate can't be combined with other tire manufacturer rebate or offer. See participating Ford dealer or visit FordOwner.com for rebate details through 5/31/12.
Looking for that great car deal? At Power Auto Center, they treat the needs of each individual customer with paramount concern. They know that you have high expectations, and believe it, Power Auto enjoys the challenge of exceeding those standards each and every time. With their commitment to excellence, you'll get that great deal you're searching for. See their new models of Buick and GMC and large selection of pre-owned vehicles on the lot and online at PowerCorvallis.com. Feel the power at Power Auto Center today, 5th and Buchanan in Corvallis.
You hear a lot of opinions about business these days. Some people even say that business is a 4-letter word. Well, the members of the Albany Area Chamber of Commerce agree. Here's one, jobs. Here's another, life. And some more, kids, work, need, teen, help, heal, play, shop. The list goes on. Because when we talk about business in Albany, here's what it really means, community. Which is a 9-letter word, but you get the point. Say what you will about business with a capital B, but when it comes to Albany, the thousands of our neighbors and friends who own and work in our local businesses are the threads in the fabric of our community. And even beyond the jobs and products and services they provide, they volunteer their time and resources to dozens of charities and community efforts. It all makes Albany a better place for all of us to live. What do you know? Another 4-letter word. So no matter how you spell it, here's the bottom line. Without business, there is no community. A message from your Albany Area Chamber of Commerce.
Governor, Senator Long called. He said it was urgent.
Tell him I just got back. I'll call him as soon as I can.
Governor, check your window. There's a whole mob of people coming up the steps.
Go for number 1.
I just talked to the leader, sir. He says he has a message for you. He says they're all praying for you.
What if we took all our frustration about our government and turned that energy into prayer?
If your business or church wants to support the National Day of Prayer, Thursday, May 3rd, call KGAL K-Show Radio for details.
Want to really know more? Just point, click, and learn from the Mid-Valley's best website, KGAL.com.
Okay, we're back on the air here. This is Victor with KGAL AM Radio Vet Talk. We're your local talk show for military veterans and their families. We're back here. We got a little rain outside today. The weather's a little cloudy, but hopefully through Vet Talk and talking about what's coming up with Vets Crossing and entertaining our troops and families and the veterans that are home, we'll bring a little sunshine into your life. And some of that sunshine's going to be that the first 3 emails I get on my email today at VictorKuhns.com. Victor, VictorKuhns.com. The first 3 people that email me today will and leave your phone number, because we'll send you a set of tickets to Vets Crossing concert for April 21st at 6 p.m. It's going to be an exciting time, so get your email sent in.
We're going to go back here, and I'm going to talk to Rocky just a little bit more, and I'm going to turn it over to Brian and Jess, and they're all three going to tell me and all of you out there in the valley and across the nation what Vets Crossing's doing and what we're going to be doing. Rocky.
Yes, sir.
You're still there.
I am.
I am so inspired by all the work that you do in entertaining our troops and bringing back a sense of a reality world that we live in, a time that they can be happy and take the stress off. Our military soldiers every day live under a stress that so many people don't understand.
That's absolutely correct, Victor. And I think it's important to note that Vets Crossing, as well as tribute to the troops, are honoring not just our today's veterans that are coming home, but all veterans of World War II, which we're losing at a very high rate. Those men are passing quickly. I don't know if you saw the Honor Air documentary PBS just did, but I did the narration for that movie, and was really surprised to learn how quickly we're losing our World War II veterans and our Vietnam veterans. We just performed at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, that's why I'm in North Carolina, for a big Vietnam welcome home event they had 65,000 people show up to that event to welcome home our Vietnam veterans, because, you know, as you realize, when they got off the plane from Da Nang or from wherever they were coming from, there weren't motorcycles waiting and parades to get them home. They oftentimes were disrespected when they came home, and I think it's important to note that we're trying to take these opportunities to not only thank those veterans, but help them figure out what their privileges are and their rights. As these Vietnam veterans, these Gulf War veterans, World War II veterans, they have benefits that a lot of times they're not aware of, and that's where people like you and Brian and Jess and all these people help these men get the help that not only they need, but they deserve and they are entitled to.
Well, one of the things is you know, that I have really been working with that in the past has not really been a focus, but that's our women veterans and their benefits. It's like a lot of women that I've dealt with have kind of felt like they were pushed aside because they were a woman. We've got a new program in Portland at the Vets Hospital. We've opened up a brand new veterans women's clinic. It's just wonderful what we're doing now here in Oregon for our women veterans. So it's really wonderful, and I'm going to now give the mic to Brian and Jess and let them talk a little bit about Vets Crossing, and I'm sure they're going to keep you right in the loop. And we've got about 6 minutes here, and then we're going to go to another break.
Thank you, Victor. I was invited to be a member of the Marine Corps League, which I'd been out of the Marine Corps for 20 years or so. And during that time, I met this gentleman sitting next to me, Jess Weiss, and I'd crossed paths with him at some private functions previously, but never really, like so many, I think, other veterans, you go through some separation anxiety when you get out. You go through a portion of time where maybe you're angry at be it the government or the military or your situation. And so when I went to the Marine Corps League and I met this gentleman, it created an appreciation for the leadership that I'd been looking for in the civilian life that I once again discovered it with Jess. And so I think it's important for your listeners to know that we need to honor or take advantage of the wisdom that these men have and these ladies that have served in our American military, and bring that out to our civilian partners and let them soak up some of their knowledge, if you will. And you look at Sergeant Major Wise here sitting next to me. He started his military career in 1945 in World War II. He served in Korea. He served in Vietnam. And he retired in 1975, I believe. And so after 30 years of service, he ended up being the Sergeant Major of the 1st Marine Division. And you talk about similarities between him and Rocky, in that these men have gone forward and created such a impact, if you will, everywhere they've gone. But look at where they began. I think both of their roots are at the same place, his being from Spokane, Washington. And so if you take the time to sit down with these folks that have served in our military there is so much leadership and wisdom that we can learn from them about life that we can apply in our everyday, travels.
Well, Jesse, you've been, from what I hear and the talking I get, you've been an inspiration and a pillar to this program of Vets Crossing. And, it's an honor to be here with you. And I'd like to know a little bit more of your history. I've heard Brian talk a little bit about you. I'd like to find out why you've pushed so hard and forward for this program.
Well, Victor, one of the things that Rocky and I have in common is he graduated from an institution that was like an orphanage, and I graduated from a place that was a county home, from a broken home, and kind of was out on my own, and I quit high school as a sophomore, went out into the workforce, went down to Central Washington, worked in a wheat harvest and all that. And I needed directions, and at that time, in fact, the A-bomb on Hiroshima was dropped on my 17th birthday, and I enlisted, and that kind of gave me direction for the next 30 years. And, of course, one of the things after 30 years in the military, and you get out, and all of a sudden you kind of lose direction. And I retired in California, and then I moved up here to Oregon and joined the Marine Corps League, and then met all of these young folks that had served their term and were out and were doing good things. And that's where I met Brian, and he's kind of talked me into doing things. So.
Brian has that ability about him.
He does. And what he doesn't, his wife Vicki will do.
Well, their story is so important to get out there, and we tie that into Vets Crossing. That's the education portion of that. I want our speakers to talk about leadership principles. I want anybody in the community who has a desire to maybe take home a new strategy or philosophy or just some little nugget from this event to attend. You don't have to be a veteran to attend. It's open to the public.
Well,
absolutely. They can just come and show their support of our veterans and just employers that have jobs that may want to come and have a table there. This is Rocky. I have a question for Jess. Jess, I actually see my time in an orphanage as a positive experience as opposed to because I think that it taught you to rely on yourself and realize that you're going to have to work hard to make something happen. And so even though that time might not have been the most pleasant time in my life, it comes across as something that was a positive character-building experience. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree. It gave you direction, and another area that I found that it helped is that it kind of made me familiar with regimentation. Yeah. And so when I entered the Marine Corps, I did not have the problem that a lot of other people did have. I took the orders and understood what they meant. A lot of people kind of rebelled a little, and that was not the thing to do, because the punishment for that was pretty severe. Yeah. But yeah, the leadership that was shown in the county home was outstanding. Had great people that were running it. Of course, it was during the Depression, and they were very dedicated. And I came away from that with a great appreciation, and it served me well in the military.
Well, it's really important that we understand some of the backgrounds in the life that we all come from, and I appreciate the two of you and what you went through in your life and what's going on, but I mostly appreciate both of you, what you've taken out of it and have brought forth and are continuing to bring forth through Vets Crossing and all the different programs that you're involved in entertaining the troops and honoring the troops, our men and women alike. No matter what war or what period of time they've served in, you're still standing up for all of them and letting the world know they're not going to be forgotten. We're always going to be out here, and we're going to remember them. But we're going to take off here, and we're going to take a break here. And let our sponsors do some talking, and then we're going to come back. One of the first things you're going to hear is where we're going to have the Vet Crossings concert and entertainment. So we'll be back in just a few.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Stamps.com. Save time, trouble, and money by buying and printing official U.S. postage with your own computer and printer. Coming up, a special offer just for you. This is Charles Osgood. 17% of American kids are now considered obese. Our CBS News colleague Drew Levinson says Tyler Sumner of Warren, Rhode Island, was one of the 17% last year.
At 7 years old, he was 110 pounds, nearly double the normal weight for a boy his age. He had trouble breathing, and he was also at risk for diabetes. His parents, Mike and Kim, didn't know what to do.
I didn't want him to be another statistic of having child obesity.
He would say to me, "Dad, I don't feel that great today," or "I'm tired."
Sad story, but it has a happy ending, as you'll hear after this. When you're dealing with your customers, your clients, or your business partners, you always want to look professional. Leasing a postage meter is so expensive. To avoid that, just use Stamps.com instead. With Stamps.com, you can buy and print official U.S. postage using your own computer and printer. Print postage that looks professional for envelopes, labels, even plain paper. And Stamps.com gives you a digital scale so that you can get the exact postage for any letter or package the instant you need it. We love Stamps.com. In fact, I use it here in the office. And let me tell you, it's so easy and so convenient to use, and you can get started right away. Right now, Stamps.com has a special offer for Osgood File listeners. A no-risk trial plus a $110 bonus that includes a digital scale and $55 in free postage. So don't wait. Go to Stamps.com. Before you do anything else, click on the radio microphone at the top of the home page and type in Osgood, O-S-G-O-O-D. That's Stamps.com and enter Osgood. Drew Levinson, tell us what Mike and Kim Sumner did last year about their overweight son Tyler.
They enrolled Tyler at the Greater Providence YMCA's Join For Me program. Kids learn about nutrition, fruit, not potato chips, grilled food, not fried, and small portions, not large. Director Cindy McDermott says the parents are included because most kids learn their eating habits at home.
People think that children won't eat fruits and vegetables. They don't like those foods. They do like those foods. They need to be exposed to them and learn that they're actually better for their body.
As to Tyler's body,
Tyler lost 11 pounds during the program and has kept up the healthy habits since it ended. He's now lost a total of 20 pounds, and he's no longer a risk for diabetes.
This is not your old Tyler Sumner.
Tyler loves to play basketball.
When he's out there running, he's not coming to us and being, "I can't breathe." It's nice to sit on the sidelines and watch your kid do what he's always wanted to do.
Great, except for the sitting on the sidelines part.
The Rhode Island program is an experiment, but it's been a successful one. Join For Me will soon be available to kids and parents in Texas and Louisiana.
The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Matt Bixby, and I'm the father of 2 young children. Like you, I'm passionate about my kids' education. 4 years ago, we enrolled our 2.5-year-old daughter at Sunborn Children's House, a Montessori school in Albany. Watching Susanna grow from a shy little girl into a confident and expressive grade schooler was amazing. And now seeing our youngest, Mason, transform from a human temper tantrum into a funny, sweet, and well-spoken 3-year-old, it's just inspiring. I want to tell everyone I know about Sunborn Children's House. On Saturday, April 14th, there's a great opportunity to learn about this school that's changing the lives of young children here in our community. It's our 10th annual community benefit and celebration from 6 to 10 p.m. at the school at 7th and Hill in Albany. Food, drinks, music, and more. Get tickets at both First Alternative Co-op locations in Corvallis and at Sid Stevens Jewelers in downtown Albany. Join us this Saturday at Sunborn Children's House.
How would you rather spend your free time? Working in your yard or enjoying your yard? If you'd rather spend your free time having fun with family and friends in a beautifully landscaped yard, just call Doug Burton Landscaping. Much more than just lawn mowing, Doug Burton provides year-round complete landscaping service for your home or business. Call Doug Burton at 791-8758 or click on his link at KGAL.com or kshow.net. Doug Burton Landscaping. Call 791-8758.
Over $3,000 in giveaways all day at the 2012 Biz Expo at the River Center, April 17th.
Okay, we're back on the air again. And here we are with Vet Talk, KGAL 1580 AM. And we're here this morning with Brian and Jess and Rocky from Vets Crossing, and the program that is going to be coming up Saturday, April 21st at 6 p.m. We need to let everybody know, they keep hearing about this. Where is it? Well, that's a good question. Where is it, Brian?
Well, Victor, we're at the First Baptist Church of Eugene. That's just north of Costco down in Eugene on Coburg Road. And, when I put this together, I looked at a lot of different venues to have it in. And this particular venue, the seating was very, very comfortable for all the people who attended. The acoustics and the technology in that venue was just state-of-the-art, and the staff treated us so wonderful. And so last year when we had our show, Dennis Ewing, he was a major in the Army and flew helicopters. He was my guest speaker, and I asked the speakers, incidentally, Jim Willis is our speaker this year, which I'm so grateful that he accepted the position. I asked him to talk about those things that they learned in the military that assisted them in their post-military life and career, and share that with the audience. And so Dennis did a great job. There are so many problems out there that Vets Crossing started out as this, but it has grown and grown and grown to creating or trying to create solutions for a lot of those problems. We're not, there's so many good intellect, honest people in the world, but really, Victor, what we're in short supply of is courage to get out and do the right thing. And so we want to develop leaders if we can. And folks are going to come there. They are going to have an opportunity to bid on some silent auction items that have been donated by local businesses. There's gun cases. There's gift cards from the Bow Rack and some other things that veterans do. There's fishing trips. There's quilts, all kinds of things in our silent auction. There is the education portion, of course, is Jim. He's going to talk about leadership principles and things that have assisted him. And then following that, Rocky is going to perform. And now, if a person has never seen Rocky Land, 2010, I'd never seen Rocky Land, but I did at a show he did in Oregon. And so that was, one of the ingredients to putting together Vets Crossing. And his message, it is so well wrapped in music and healing and inspiring that I encourage anybody that has an opportunity to show up and come see Rocky do that. Come hear Jim's message. So that's kind of a real thumbnail sketch. And Rocky, if you have anything you want to add to that, I'd sure welcome it.
Well, thank you, Brian. Thanks for saying that. It really had a feeling of an attitude of gratitude last year. The venue is beautiful. It's easily accessible. There's great parking. There's easy in and out if there's any handicap facilities. They've got great sound, and Major Dennis, he was part of the 160th Night Stalkers units, which are the ones that deliver these SEAL teams to make these covert missions. And so his insight into that world of special operations was unbelievable. The things that he said and the ways that he talked. And Jim Willis is a Vietnam veteran, a decorated Vietnam veteran, a wounded hero. He's also head of Directorate Affairs for the state of Oregon. He will have a wealth of information as well as wonderful stories. He's a great speaker, and our music will just be icing, hopefully, on that presentation he has. But we're excited to do it. We're bringing the whole band in and crew. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, we're really looking forward to seeing that, and the things that are going to be happening throughout the year with you, Rocky. Can you kind of give us a thumbnail of where you're going to be and what you're going to be doing the next couple of 3 months?
Well, let's see. That coming up, we're coming out to Oregon, obviously, to do that. I'm headlining the VFW National Convention again this year. We did it last year down in San Antonio, and we're doing it again this year, which is in Reno. We're also headlining the Vietnam Veterans Association of America, their national convention. We're playing, we have several Tribute to the Troops motorcycle rides throughout the nation. We're in 6 states now, and we're really working to help a lot of other organizations like Purple Heart Homes, which is located here in North Carolina, founded by a double amputee Dale Beatty, who is helping veterans finance homes. And they have a really cool thing that they're trying to do, because there's all these homes that are in foreclosure, and it'd be a great way to put disabled veterans in these homes, and they're trying to help them get them in these homes. It's very cool. But so we're just traveling, of course, getting ready for Christmas. The Christmas we'll go overseas again, and hopefully we're coming back to Oregon as much as we can. I love it up there. It's one of the most patriotic, wonderful places I've ever been. It's beautiful.
Well, you were talking about the different programs that are coming in. We're going to mention one more time about the 2012 tribute to the troops. Tom McKinley, who is the chapter chairman, he's a Gold Star father.
Yes, and he's quite a patriot. Tom is a patriot.
He is, and he's already working on the ride for June 16th and 17th to go out, and we're going to be honoring 8 families this year. Also, the people need to know, I believe that you're going to pick up your guitar and do a little entertaining the first night of the ride.
Absolutely. I intend to play a thing in that night. We'll all stay at a hotel together. It's the people that come on these Tribute to the Troops rides, it changes your life in ways that you can't describe it, and it's almost impossible to put into words what it's like. Because imagine just you're living in a cul-de-sac in the Willamette Valley, and you just got your little house. You're sitting there, and your son had given his life. And sometimes this would have been 5 or 6 years ago, because we just go as we contact these families, and then 400 motorcycles pull up in your driveway, and they don't just pull up and then leave. We pull up and we stay, and we have contact information, and we have things that help these people. I'll give you a quick story. Last year, Victor, when we were doing our ride, we went up. Normally, when people know we're coming, sometimes the people in the neighborhood will be standing out with flags, and when we get to the house where the Gold Star family is, sometimes there will be the whole aunts and uncles. There'll be a lot of the relatives will be there for us to make this presentation. We went into a house last year in Illinois, and when we come around the turn, there was just a lady standing there by herself. And you could tell immediately that this lady was alone, and she had lost her son. And when we stopped the bikes, and when I got off, she came up to me and she said, "He's all I had. He's all I had." And you could tell by looking at her shoes and by the disrepair her yard was in that this lady needed some help. And we were able to find people that would chop her wood and get her, people in the Tribute Illinois in that club. They just went and started helping this lady, and it was something that did something genuinely good. It's a thing that's genuinely good. Same with Vets Crossing. The only reason they're doing it is because it's the right thing to do. It's a good thing, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
And that's very important. It's a message that we get out through Vets Helping Vets, that so often our communities, they hear for 5 minutes and 10 minutes, and it's kind of a passing thought. But what we do is keep the message out there in front of them. And here in the Valley, people are so involved because they keep hearing about our veterans and our soldiers and the sacrifice and the cost that's given by them to continue to keep this country free. And so our communities have really stepped up in working with the veterans. Our businesses are stepping up, constantly helping with veterans programs, whether building an apartment, whether putting in handicap ramps. They're always thinking about our veterans. And that's a tribute to lead into one of the things that we very seldom talk about, and that is our veterans are serving overseas. But we need to remember the veteran that's home. That's the mother, the father, the daughter, the son that is sitting here waiting for that soldier to come home, and what they give up and sacrificed for waiting for them to come home. So their families are very important to us also.
Victor, if I could interject something here, I want to offer your listeners an explanation of where does the money go that Vets Crossing raises. And the Marine Corps League, Chapter 917, we purchase socks, which are on the top of the list, health and comfort items, Gatorade drink mixes, things of this nature that we box up and we ship to those men and women over in Afghanistan currently serving. And so there's an incredible cost in the freight of that. A lot of our items are donated, and that's where our energy is spent in putting this event on to raise funds to help us do that.
And Brian, you're so great at that. Maybe you should explain why socks are so important.
Well, anybody that's ever gone out and worn a blister or two on their feet understand that your focus is diverted from whatever you're doing because you got to deal with that foot pain. And a foot soldier depends on his feet. Now, I've talked to returning veterans, and it's one of their rituals. When they get back to their forward operating base, they build a fire and they burn their socks, because if you just lived in them for 4 or 5 days, and you're gonna pack more ammo rather than to pack an extra pair of socks, because who has the time to take their boots off when perhaps your personal safety's in jeopardy? So socks are the number one thing, and that brings a smile to their face, and that's what we want to do. Cabela's has donated a tremendous amount of socks to our organization this year, and I want to thank them for that. And why am I so focused on the foot soldier? The Sergeant Major was a recon Marine. I was in the Air Wing, and so I didn't have the punishment to my body that these men took. And I got to fly over them. I got to see them getting on them helicopters and getting off, and they looked beat up and tired. So that's where my focus is to help the ones that have to do the lion's share of the work out there.
And Sergeant Major knows his feet got wet a lot. And I can relate to that. Only difference was I had a clean pair of socks every day. Sergeant Major, I was an MP, so I could go in and change them.
And I recently spoke with a veteran about the sock issue, and he had plenty of socks. They just had no laundry facilities or any way to wash them. So they would wash them by hand however they could and hang them up to dry.
So that's really important. Rocky, I want to thank you for coming on the air and being with us. We're going to start winding this up here in just a few minutes. We got to take one more break, and I want to come back and I want to talk to you a little more and get a little more information about your calendar. And so we're going to be off the air here for a couple of minutes, and we'll be back to say good night or good afternoon to everybody. And hopefully you'll have a good week before you come out.
Oh, yeah.
So stay right there, and we'll be right back.
Rebecca Grizzle from Linco Federal Credit Union here, and I'm proud to announce that the Biz Expo will be bigger and better than ever before on Tuesday, April 17th at the River Center in Lebanon. 130 businesses showcasing services and sampling their products, Lynn County artists hosting a large art show, $3,000 in free prizes, and admission is free. Doors open at 10 a.m. at the River Center, 3000 Santiam Highway in Lebanon. The 2012 Biz Expo, April 17th.
Governor, Senator Long called. He said it was urgent.
Tell him I just got back. I'll call him as soon as I can.
Governor, check your window. There's a whole mob of people coming up the steps.
Security number one.
Go for number one.
I just talked to the leader, sir. He says he has a message for you. He says they're all praying for you.
What if we took all our frustration about our government and turned that energy into prayer?
If your business or church wants to support the National Day of Prayer, Thursday, May 3rd, call KGAL K-Show Radio for details.
This is Michael Medved inviting you to join me in Corvallis on May 3rd. If you share my belief that politics can open up new possibilities and so can prayer, then it's time to choose the future. We'll talk about some ideas Thursday night at 7, May 3rd in the Calvary Chapel, Corvallis. Tickets, just $10 at the door. They'll benefit Oregon 2012 Initiative number 25. More details at Oregon2012.org. That's Oregon2012.org.
Step back in time and enjoy the unchanged natural beauty of the Willamette River aboard the authentic Willamette Queen Sternwheeler Riverboat at Salem's Riverfront Park. Take a lunch or dinner cruise on a Disneyland-like experience and visit with the adventurous and gregarious Captain Richard Chesbrough as he shares a lifetime of maritime experiences while you steer the Sternwheeler up and down the Willamette River. Make reservations now for a lunch or dinner cruise or the afternoon one-hour excursion cruise from only $6 to $12. Call 503-371-1103 or log on to WillametteQueen.com.
It turns your head as easily as it turns on your lawn. It's the new Kubota GR Series Lawn and Garden Tractor from Lynn Benton Tractor. Get the feel of a zero-turn mower with the traction of all-wheel drive, so you can mow up, down, and all around. See how Kubota's GR Series gets around this Friday and Saturday during the grand opening of Lynn Benton Tractor's new location in Silverton. Get special deals both days with hot dogs, cake, and beverages between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Friday and Saturday, you need to see the other Lynn Benton Tractor on McLean Street in Silverton.
When you buy something at St. Vincent de Paul, you always save money.
And when you donate something at St. Vincent de Paul, you save money too, because everything you donate is tax deductible. So save when you buy and save when you give at St. Vincent de Paul, where you can have some fun, save some money, and do something nice for your neighbors. We're St. Vincent de Paul, and we're located at 2220 Southeast Pacific Boulevard in Albany, right next to Big 5 Sporting Goods.
Valley Talk, weekday mornings on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
And we're back on the air again. This is Victor with Rocky Lynn and Brian Myers and Jess Weiss, and we're here talking about Vets Crossing. Want to remind everybody, you need to go on your computers, the first three people. Victor Kuhns, Kuhns, .yahoo. You email me, and the first three people will receive a pair of tickets to the Vets Crossing concert for April 21st at 6 p.m. You don't want to miss it, so get your emails out there. And Rocky Lynn's going to be looking forward to meeting all you folks and shaking your hands, and he's a great entertainer, and he's a patriot that's here to remember the American soldiers, men and women, and what they've done for this great nation. So Brian, he works tirelessly, and Jesse, he says he's just along for the ride, but I know he works tirelessly.
Yes, he does. I get the opportunity of taking him with me on so many of these, Victor, and I am grateful for that. So he bought me breakfast this morning. What a gentleman.
Well.
And I usually try to pick that up. So.
I knew Brian had something behind it, didn't he, Jesse?
Yeah, he did.
So anyway, it was great, and Rocky, we're looking forward to coming out. Do you have anything you want to say for the last few words?
Well, it's a privilege and an honor for us to come out there and share our program with everybody. The First Baptist Church in Eugene is a beautiful facility, and it's going to be full, so get your tickets and come on out, and it's going to be a wonderful experience. When you were talking about where we're playing, I forgot that in May I'm also going. They moved Walter Reed to Bethesda, Maryland, and we do 2 shows at Walter Reed every year. This will be our first year going to Bethesda, and that's the 1st of May, to where we go room to room and sing for the men that are wounded. And we take them a backpack with some stuff in it. So we're looking forward to doing that also.
Hey, Victor, incidentally, folks can go to vetscrossing.org on the web, and on that is some postings as to where ticket outlets are. Tickets will be available at the door. Doors open at 5 o'clock on that day. Additionally, you know what? If you leave Vets Crossing 2012 as the same person that arrived, then I'll give you your money back. That's how confident I am.
There you go. Now, there is a guarantee that you can't refuse. We want to fill the venue. We're going to take a break here real quick, and then we're going to come back and say goodbye to everybody. So one quick break here. Rocky, it's been so good to have you on the show.
It was a pleasure, Victor. Thank you for having me. And thank you for what you're doing with your radio show, and kudos to all the great things you're doing, sir.
Well, you too. Oh, we're still on the air, we heard. So we're going to take it right to the end. And we're going to say thank you to everybody and their efforts and what they're doing to put Vets Crossing program together. We want to remind everybody that April 21st, the doors will open at 5. The concert starts at 6, and the program. And it's a patriotic evening, entertainment, celebrating and honoring American men and women who serve this great nation. We have a lot of other programs going on this year that I said I want to touch. April 20th, Rocky will also be doing an entertainment at a prime rib dinner at the American Legion in Albany from 7 to 8 during the dinner. And it's at $12 for the dinner. We want everybody to come on out. We've had a lot of things happen. One of the things was last year on the 4th of July, our American Legion burned to the ground. And so we're in the process of rebuilding it. And so we have a temporary venue, a place to meet and have these dinners. It's been a blessing. And then raising the money to build the new American Legion's been a challenge, but we know we're going to get through it. Those that are looking to donate to help with the building cause, you get a contact Post 10 American Legion in Albany, Oregon. They need all the donations they can get right now. We have the building about 2/3 done, and we need about $600,000 left to finish it. So your donations are very much welcome. We're looking forward to seeing everybody at Vets Crossing and at the Prime Rib Dinner in Albany on the 20th. So Rocky will have tickets available, and he'll also have his CDs and everything there. We definitely want to help Rocky. It's an expensive trip for everybody, for him to get him out here and bring him out. And we want to help and make sure. I always like to challenge, and everybody knows that every show I put a challenge out there. So here's what I'm asking. We're going to have the Vets Crossing. We're also going to have the dinner on the 20th. So those that would take the challenge, stop by your local store, pick up a pair of socks, and bring them to the dinner. We'd like to have a case full of socks to send out with the rest of the socks we get.
Thank you, Victor.
So we want to remember that.
Incidentally, you know, the Marine Corps League is hosting this year's Vets Crossing, and we appreciate that so much. And I appreciate you and Rocky and Jess and so many others out there just like you, because you are the sturdy horse that pulls the wagon. And a lot of us, other younger veterans, other generations, we appreciate that so much. And, you know, we have to get that message out to not forget our other veterans.
And we want to thank you. It's very important. I'm going to give Rocky, you've got 60 seconds to make your plea, and then we're going to close the doors.
Well, folks, we want to invite everybody out to the First Baptist Church of Eugene on May 21st.
April 20th.
Come on out. April 20th. Come on out and be with us and enjoy Vets Crossing. It's a wonderful event, and something that you won't soon forget. We're excited about doing it.
You can find us vetscrossing.org or find us on Facebook under Vets Crossing as well.
Yeah, and Rocky, this is Jess again. It looks like I'm going to have to perfect my radio voice because Vicki conned me into being her co-host.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to it. You've already got the radio voice to me.
And we need to remind everybody that you can contact Victor from Vets Talk at victorcoons.yahoo.com and make sure you get a hold of me. I'm here to help you with your benefits. Jim Willis will be speaking, the Director of Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs at Vets Crossing. So we want to thank you, and from Vets Helping Vets and Vets Crossing, thank you for coming to our show, and we will talk to you next month.
Yes, sir.